Energy. Cookie Monster on energy. Alright, good morning party people, welcome back. Do another van update today. Today's big news is I'm going to start laying out the solar panels on the roof of the van. So I am going to cut out a template from cardboard to kind of get an idea about how much space they're going to take up and about where I'm going to position them on the van. And we also have a conduit plastic piece that we need to put on the top and drill holes through the top of the van to feed the actual electrical cables through the top of the van as well. So we got to figure out where we want to put that. So I have 3 of these 100-watt Enegy solar panels that I've been keeping in the house here. I haven't even opened them yet. And today I'm going to open this box and I'm going to try to probably use either that piece of cardboard or maybe a piece of cardboard from that box, depending on the length, to cut at least one template, and then I'll put the template on top of the van and outline the template a bit, at least in the corners, with some painter's tape, and that will give me an idea about how much space that they will take, and see if there's room to leave space for a maybe potential 4th panel in the future, and where I would lay out the actual conduit piece for the electrical cables as well. So let's get to it. Alright, we have an exact replica. These are the monocrystalline flexible solar panels. I'm going to try to get 3 on top and see if there's room for a 4th. So I was just reading up on the solar panel and looking at the specifications. They say leave a 1/4 inch between panels for thermal expansion of the frame. But these are the flexible ones. I don't think there's really any major specification around distance between flexible panels. At least I didn't see it. But we'll probably leave a 1/4 inch just for good measure. I don't think those flexible panels are going to expand a 1/4 inch, but I think the rigid panels that have the aluminum frames probably would. So I don't know. Just to be on the safe side, we'll leave a little bit in there. All right, party people, since it's so windy outside, I'm going to actually spray paint. What? That makes no sense. So we're going to continue the solar install today. It's supposed to be nice 60, mid-60s and 5-mile-per-hour winds, which is much better than the 10 to 15 that we have been having. So I've kind of laid out the first panel here with painter's tape on where it would actually sit. That would give me minimal shading from the vent, and then get me enough room to put 3 panels on top of this van. And I'm kind of going to bias it over to the passenger side just a bit because I need to install a through grommet here for the solar cable. So I want that to sit a little bit further up on the van so it's not as conspicuous from the side. So it's not much of a bias, but it's just enough, I think, that it'll help kind of hide the visibility from the side of the van looking from the driver's side. So all right, let's get started. Finished bonding all 3 panels to the roof with the 3M VHB double-sided tape. We'll see how good this stuff holds, but yeah, so that's what it currently looks like. There's about a little more than a 1/4 inch between the panels. I left a little bit of room between the vent fan and the adjacent panel in order to minimize shading from the vent. Okay, so I've drilled the hole in the top, and this is going to house the plus and minus cables from my solar panels, and they'll go through this little cable inlet here. And so what I've got to do now is put some primer and some paint on this little hole that I cut out, and then I will insert a rubber grommet in there, and then we'll bond this down with some double-sided tape, and then I can start to cabling up the solar panels and running those to the inside of the van. So let's do that. Alright, yeah, I've got some primer around the hole, and I've got my rubber grommet in, so now I'm just going to rough up the surface and we'll bond our cable conduit to the top of this roof. So I just have some 3M VHB double-sided tape around the cable conduit, and again, this is just a bonding agent. I will seal this with Dicor lap sealant, the self-leveling type. I'll go all the way around the edge of this flange with it. So that should give us a nice tight marine seal. So, all right, let's do it. All right, we have our cable conduit bonded to the top of the roof of the van. And so now I'm going to wait for it to dry just a little bit, then I'll come back and hit it with some Dicor self-leveling lap sealant, and we'll let that cure up, and then we'll be able to cable up the solar panels and just kind of run the cable to the inside of the vehicle. Alright, boys and girls, cable conduit has been sealed with lap sealant, self-leveling. So yeah, we're ready to cable up some solar. Alright, that'll do it for the solar install until I get the batteries, the charge controller, the isolation manager, the battery guard. All of the electronic stuff hasn't arrived yet. Plus I need to build out some of the skeleton of the inside of the van before I start pulling some of the cables through. So that'll do it for this part of the solar installation. Alright, like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. Click the post notification bell. You get notified of all new uploads, and you know what to do. Until next time, skill up and ride, van up and go.